Good morning. Welcome to morning yoga. My name is Megan Hively. This morning, it's Monday morning, and I was thinking we would start the week with a little bit more, maybe of a nurturing, maybe slightly restorative kind of practice. It's going to be a yin style with shortened holds, though, with the option of support of the wall. So I'm going to be using the wall today, but all of the shapes that I'm leading you through, you can absolutely do on the floor and without the wall. I'm also going to be reading it's a prayer for self-love, and it's from Don Miguel Ruiz's The Mastery of Love, um, through a couple of segments. So we'll set up in our first shape, which is going to be butterfly. And so if you're not using the wall, you would just sit tall and bring your feet together, whether your heels are closer to you or further away. And remember, you can always sit on a blanket. If you're coming toward the wall, what I like to suggest to get nice and close is to roll onto your side and then scoot yourself until you are as close to the wall as you can get, and then roll onto your back. Bring legs up the wall. And then from here, bringing feet together and knees wide. And there's an option here to use the support of blocks underneath the knees, just to give us a little bit more restorative feel. You could do the same seated as well. And so just like the other yin practice that we did, it's not really about forcing a stretch, but maybe just allowing and opening. And so once you've settled into either of those shapes, you might let your eyes close and let your awareness become more internal. You might watch the breath. Or you might allow your awareness to come to some sort of sensation within your body. And then taking a moment just to feel your connection to earth. If you're seated, that could be through the sit bones. If you're on your back and using the wall like I am, along your back, in the back of the shoulders, maybe around the sacrum. Feel that slight compression of yourself relaxing into earth. And then maybe start to notice if you're holding tension anywhere. Especially around the face, check your jaw, your brow line, forehead. And then what are your shoulders doing? Are they lifted up to the ears? Can you relax them down and back a bit? Using this first shape as a chance to settle into this practice, to center, bring us to this present moment. And about 30 more seconds here. Maybe coming back to your breath or to that sensation in your body. Keeping this introspective awareness. We'll take a cleansing breath when you're ready, a full inhale through your nose and let it out of your mouth. Begin to release the shape. So if you're seated, that would be rolling up your spine. If you're like me on your back using the wall, I like to grab outside of the legs and help to guide my legs straight and knees back together and legs up the wall. We'll stretch to the center. You can take any movements here that you need, but we will set up for the second shape, which will be legs up the wall or a seated forward fold. So either way, think about feet, maybe hip width, maybe a little bit wider, a little bit closer, just what feels right on your hips. Legs up the wall, we can always lift the hips and place a blanket underneath the hips if that feels better, just to give a little rise to the hips. I will say if you're on your monthly cycle, I maybe wouldn't add the little lift to the hips just because of that downward energy. It can prevent some of that energy from heading down and out, the Apana Vayu. But then we'll settle into our new shape. Hands are wherever they're comfortable. I like to keep mine on my belly, just add a little extra grounding, but yours might be by your side. And if your eyes have opened, you might close them again and allow your awareness to turn internal. You might take a moment to feel the grounding, either if you're seated through sit bones or if you're on your back, down through the sacrum. Feeling connection to earth. A prayer for self-love. Today, Creator of the universe, we ask that you help us to accept ourselves just the way we are, without judgment. Help us to accept our mind the way it is, with all our emotions, our hopes and dreams, our personality, our unique way of being. Help us to accept our body just the way it is, with all its beauty and perfection. Let the love we have for ourselves be so strong that we never again reject ourselves or sabotage our happiness, freedom, and love. If that resonated with you, take some time just to let it sit. And 5 more breaths in the shape. A cleansing breath when you're ready, a full inhale through your nose and let it out of your mouth. Begin to release. If you're seated, you'd walk your upper body tall on the wall. You might find a bend in the knees and maybe a couple of windshield wipers, nice and gentle, with knees dropping side to side. For our next shape, if you are seated, go ahead and come onto your back and find a happy baby. If you're using the wall, you might scoot yourself away from the wall a couple of inches. And we're coming into wall frog. So we bring feet to the floor, or feet to the wall, excuse me, knees are bent, and begin to heel toe the feet out to your side. So knees are bent. They might be a little bit higher than the hips. If you're on the ground and in happy baby, you can grab behind the knees. You can grab on either side of the feet or any other happy baby variation. If your feet are on the wall, the blocks could be underneath the knees or the thighs to give a little support, a little bit more restorative. And hands might be on the tops of the knees, maybe inner thighs, or maybe by your side. And if your eyes had opened, maybe you close them again. Allow your awareness to drift within. You might be noticing sensations. If you're feeling any sort of pain, definitely release out of the shape. But if there's a general sensation, see if you can just be with it. Not too long in this shape, just another maybe 5 breaths. And let's take a cleansing breath, a deep inhale through your nose, and let it out of your mouth. To release, if you're not using the wall, pull knees into your chest. If you are using the wall, you might take your hands outside of your knees to heel toe your feet back together. Bring knees together. And if you want, you could pull knees more into the chest here, maybe a rock side to side. Maybe it feels better to straighten the legs, just doing what feels right. Our next shape is going to be figure 4 on your back, either using the wall for support or not. If you're using the wall, extend your left leg long up the wall and bring your right ankle to your left leg below your knee, so that more toward below your knee toward the hip. From here, bend your left knee so your left foot comes on the floor. If you're not using the wall, it's the same setup, but your left foot could be on the floor, or you could reach through and grab the shin of the left leg. If you need to scoot yourself a little further away from the wall, that's an option. Maybe your right hand finds your right knee, guiding it open a little or keeping it supported. Little flexion through the right ankle, pressing through right heel. And noticing where the sensations are here. Again, if any pain, release. That general sensation, breathe and be with it. Awareness turned within. Other section of our prayer. Starting today, help us to love ourselves so much that we never set up any circumstances that go against us. We can live our life being ourselves and not pretending to be someone else just to be accepted by other people. We no longer need other people to accept us or tell us how good we are, because we know what we are. 5 more breaths. And when you are ready to switch sides, if you're using the wall, extending left leg back up the wall and then removing your right ankle. You might find a little windshield wiper of the right leg. If you're not using the wall, maybe knees are pulled into your chest and moving around a bit from there. And we'll set up for the second side. If you're using the wall, right leg extends up the wall, right heel. And then left ankle coming onto right leg. Below the knee, or on the part of the knee that's closer to the hip. That might be a better way to say that. And then a bend through the right knee. Bring your right foot to the wall. A little flexion through the left ankle, and maybe left hand finds your left knee for a little support. And so here you might notice how the side feels different than the first. No judgments with that. There's nothing wrong with sides feeling different. They probably always will. But just noticing what that's like today. What that difference feels like this morning. And then guiding yourself to what helps you stay present. Whether that's following your breath or continuing to stay with a sensation. Maybe a mantra, if that's in your practice. As we hold this shape for just a little while longer. Five more breaths. And a cleansing breath this time, a full inhale through your nose and let it out of your mouth. You're using the wall, extending your right leg, right heel back up the wall to release. Again, you might windshield wiper the left leg just to find a little letting go of the shape. And then either way, pulling knees into your chest, whether you're using the wall or not. Gentle rock side to side, and then allowing yourself to gently fall to one side. From here, pressing yourself up to a seat. And we will meet and close out this session in a seat. I want to sit on a blanket this morning. Just taking a couple of moments here to get into the spine. So bringing hands onto the legs and coming into some seated cat-cows. On your inhale, finding the arch, bringing your breastbone forward, maybe a lean forward. On your exhale, pull belly into spine and roll it out. So we're connecting your breath with the movement here. Inhale into the seated cow and exhale into seated cat. Just a few more. Spinal flexion and extension, waking up our spine. How about one more? Inhale, rock forward. Exhale, bring it back. Lifting tall into your seat. Side stretch here, extending your right fingertips toward the ceiling. Left hand finding the floor. And then a side stretch over toward your left. Lateral flexion on the spine. The switch will come back up through center. Your right fingertips finding the floor, left fingertips reaching up and side stretch over. Lift up through center, last piece, finding a twist. So you might twist towards your left to start, bringing left hand behind you to be second spine. Right hand, I like to keep it on the same knee. You can always take it across the body for more of a closed twist. And then a gentle switch. We come through center. So your right hand might be behind, left hand on either knee, what's comfortable. Sit tall. And gently releasing the twist and coming back through center. As I set up our last piece of the prayer I'm going to read this morning, close us out. Today is a new beginning. Help us to start our life over, beginning today with the power of self-love. Help us to enjoy our life, to enjoy our relationships, to explore life, to take risks, to be alive and to no longer live in fear of love. Let us open our heart to the love that is our birthright. Help us to become masters of gratitude, generosity, and love so that we can enjoy all of your creations forever and ever. Thank you guys so much. I will see you on Wednesday. Have a great day. Namaste and spirit fingers. Thank you.